Thanks for watching the video. Subscribe to the channel, leave your like and your comments. On April 4, 2012, Lionel Messi starred in a 3-1 victory over Milan, Italy, in the UEFA Champions League. In a controversial game involving the referees and players of the Italian team, the Argentine striker scored 2 goals, all of them from the penalty spot. The win sent Barcelona into an incredible run of 5 straight semi-finals in European competition. The result against Milan resulted in a game against Chelsea qualifying for the final. That same week, he led the Catalan club to another victory in the Spanish Championship, over Zaragoza by 4-1, with 2 more goals. On April 10, Messi scores another goal in a 4-0 win against Getafe at the Camp Nou. Weeks passed and Messi played alongside Pedro and Sanchez, the first game of the semi-final of the Champions League, against Chelsea, and ended up being defeated by 1-0, goal of the Ivorian Didier Drogba. 2012-13, Messi Dependencia and new individual records. During Barcelona's first game of the season against Real Sociedad, Messi continued to score goals in a 5-1 victory at the Camp Nou. Messi added another goal from the penalty spot in a 3-2 win against rivals Real Madrid in the first leg of the Spanish Super Cup in Barcelona on August 23. He scored another goal against Osasuna in a 2-1 away win. The striker scored another goal from a free kick in the second match of the Spanish Super Cup, but Barcelona, with 10 players, lost to Real Madrid and ended up as runners-up. He scored his 15th goal in the derby against Real Madrid, which made him Barcelona's top scorer in games between both teams and the second highest in the history of the clash, putting him alongside Raúl, behind only Alfredo Di Stefano, with 18 goals. Scored 2 goals in the 3-2 victory over Spartak Moscow at home on September 20. On November 11 he broke Gerd Müller and Pellé's record after scoring his 76th goal of the 2012-13 season against Mallorca. He scored his 78th goal against Real Zaragoza. Messi scored twice against Spartak Moscow in a 3-0 away win. He scored twice against Athletic Bilbao to reach 84 goals for the season. He scored 2 goals again on December 9, and beat Müller's mark of 85 goals in 1972, counting for club and selection, reaching the mark of 86 goals in the season. On December 12, he scored twice against Córdoba. On December 16, he scored a brace in a 4-1 win over Atlético Madrid. He scored a goal against Real Valladolid and increased his all-time tally to 91 goals. He competed in the FIFA Ballon d'Or with Andrés Iniesta and Cristiano Ronaldo and was once again a favorite. He won the 4th award as the best in the world, thus, he entered history as the first player to win the award 4 times so far. After winning his 4th straight award as the best in the world, Messi gave an interview to the ESPN Sports channel. "My objective is to continue growing, not to be satisfied with what I have. I wish I had won more titles last year." Weeks later, then Barcelona president Sandro Rossi announced the renewal of Messi's contract with the club until the end of the 2017-18 season. Leo scored a goal on February 10, against Getafe in yet another 6-1 home thrashing. He scored 2 goals against Granada on February 16, and turned the game 2-1 away from home, scoring his 300th goal for Barcelona. He scored another one against Sevilla in a 2-1 home win. He scored a goal against Real Madrid in the second match against the rival, this time for the Spanish Championship, losing the game by 2-1 after equalizing in the 18th minute of the first half. With the goal scored, Messi equaled Di Stefano, the top scorer in the history of the Classic so far, with 18 goals. He further scored in Barcelona's 2-0 win at Deportivo La Coruña on March 9. He scored 2 more goals in the match against Rayo Vallecano. At Camp Nou his team won the game 3-1 with the last goal being scored by David Villa. He scored a record 19 goals in a row in La Liga against Celta Vigo on March 30. On April 27, he entered the second half against Athletic Bilbao and scored the goal that secured the 2-2 draw. For the decisive phase of the Champions League, he won qualification for the quarter-finals against Milan on March 12 in a historic turnaround. After scoring 2 goals and seeing his team score 2 more, Barcelona won the game in a rout by 4-0, making it 4-2 on aggregate for the Catalans. Leo scored the first goal in the first leg between Paris Saint-Germain and Barcelona in the 2-2 draw for the quarter-finals of the continental competition. The game featured a goal by Blaise Matuidi in the 46th minute of the second half. In the return game at Camp Nou, he only came on in the second half due to an injury. Even so, he was decisive for the Blaugrana, starting the move that would tie the game 1-1. The result remained until the end of the match, which was enough to classify Barcelona for the semi-finals following the away goals rule. Still not 100% physically fit, he had a discreet performance in the first leg against Bayern Munich. The Bavarians finished more often, neutralized Messi's creativity and dominated the match in a 4-0 rout, this being the worst defeat of the career of the Argentine in international competitions. Still suffering physical problems, the Argentine did not enter the field in the return game. Bayern won 3-0 in Catalonia and advanced to the final. After these games, the expression Messi dependencia gained more credibility. It serves to designate the dependence that the club created on the striker's good performances in decisive games. He reached the mark of 215 goals for Barcelona in Spanish championships after scoring twice against Betis on May 5, 2013, leaving one victory away from the title. Citation needed. In this same game, Messi reached another incredible mark in his career. At the age of 25 and only 9 seasons in action, La Pulga had equaled the number of goals scored by the greatest idol in the history of Argentine football, Diego Maradona, in his 22-year career, between 1976 and 1998. The only aspect in which Maradona still had a large advantage was in relation to the number of goals for the Argentine national team. Pibe scored 14 times in World Cups, against just 1 goal by Messi so far, scored in the 2006 FIFA World Cup. In total, Maradona scored 34 goals in matches for the Albiceleste, while Messi already added 32. After the Spanish title, Messi left with a muscle injury in the match against Atletico de Madrid on May 12. After the diagnosis, Messi would be out of the season, and would be a sure embezzlement for the remaining 3 games of the season. 2013-14, new injuries and season without titles. After the departure of Tito Vilanova, Barcelona announced Tata Martino as the team's new coach. After an irregular start to the season, Messi suffered his 4th injury in the current year of 2013 and missed his team for 2 months. Despite the constant injuries, Messi had delivered the second year with the highest number of career goals in the previous season, which earned him second place in the FIFA Ballon d'Or, behind the Portuguese Cristiano Ronaldo and ahead of the French Franck Ribéry. During the second half of the season, there were questions about Messi's performance. Statistically, his contribution in goals, shots and passes had significantly deteriorated this season, which led BBC Sport to question whether Cristiano Ronaldo had not become better than the Argentine. Even with questions, he broke 3 historic marks in just 1 week. On March 16, against Osasuna, Messi became the top scorer in Barcelona's history with 371 goals, thus surpassing former striker Paulino Alcantara. The game ended 7-0 for Barcelona, with the attacker's hat-trick. Other marks beaten during this period occurred in a classic against Real Madrid. La Pulga scored a hat-trick in the middle of the Santiago Bernabéu and became the greatest scorer in the history of El Clásico, in addition to having become the second highest scorer in the history of the Spanish Championship. Playing in the group stage of the Champions League, he scored a hat-trick in the 4-0 defeat of Ajax, and was instrumental in Barca's qualification for the round of 16 after scoring 2 goals against Milan in the 3-1 in Catalonia. For the decisive phase, he scored a goal against Manchester City in the round of 16 and helped in the 2-0 victory at the Etihad Stadium. In the return game, he scored again in Barcelona's 2-1 victory, thus, the team advanced to the quarterfinals. In the first leg against Atletico de Madrid, Messi had a discreet performance and the match ended in 1-1. In the return game, Atletico managed to qualify for the semi-finals in a 1-0 victory. The Argentine had another performance off and the team fled from its own characteristics by losing possession of the ball and not being able to carry out infiltrations through the middle due to the pressure on the ball and the good performance of the Calcanra defense. For the first time in 5 years, Barcelona ended the season without winning major titles. The Blaugrana lost the Copa del Rey final to Real Madrid in a game with a wide tactical and defensive disorganization by the Gules and a good performance by Gareth Bale. In addition, they were in second place in the Spanish Championship and saw Atletico de Madrid consecrated one at Camp Nou after a 1-1 draw with Messi assisting. Months after the end of that season, the footballer himself spoke about his performance and acknowledged that he had an irregular season. In addition, he stated that 2014 was a bad year that I wanted to quickly forget.